Hi class. So we are going to jump right into goal setting, self-regulation, self-monitoring, self-evaluation. These are all can be considered under the self-regulation suite, a cognitive behavioral strategy for self-management of behavior. So we have the formal definition of goal setting here, the process through which performance criteria or a desired level of performance is established and the solutions necessary to achieve the specified level of performance are identified and used in an attempt to meet the established goal. So this is a really simple concept, but is really critical in establishing where we are now and where are we going. So it's really critical in establishing our goals. Goal setting is very grounded in research. We've got a few citations here going back to the 1970s. A positive agreed upon outcomes, teachers, parents, and students. So all stakeholders have this sort of collective agreement that goal setting works and there are multiple benefits to students. Can be used to improve academic and behavioral performance. So that's a big one there. This also helps us to communicate clearly the roles and responsibilities with all those involved in the parameters for the responsibility. So we're going to talk about the goal setting process here. First, you would arrange a conference. So perhaps this is a tier 2 referral. Perhaps the student is in check-in, check-out. So this is where the teacher, the student, the parent perhaps would sit down and have a meeting. And this is where you would identify a goal. And this is very seemingly simplistic, but it's actually quite involved and critical for behavior programs. So you want to identify a goal. Where do you want to be? You then would clarify any discrepancies. And this is where you would talk about what is the problem? What is the problem behavior here? Where is it happening? Maybe you know why it's happening, for how long it's happening. And this is very important because sometimes students think that they're cruising along just fine, and it gets you all on the same page for what is the problem that exists, where are we now, and this is where data comes into play. So academic or socially, we've got that data behind us to talk about what's the problem, and then we're able to talk about where we want to be. Then you would identify a solution. And this can't be done until the other steps have been done. So you're going to clarify any discrepancies to get you guys all on the same page, and then you're going to brainstorm some solutions. You also want to identify positive consequences for meeting the goal. So you would set up your criteria for when the goal has been met and incentives for the student for meeting those goals. You would identify a monitoring plan to monitor fidelity and progress monitor. And this is really important for looking for trends and maintenance. So not only do you want the student to meet their goal, but also maintain the goal. And fidelity monitoring can be done in a simple checklist, which serves as a reminder for teachers. It's not so much a, hey, I caught you not doing your job kind of thing. It's more of a checklist for them to review their expectations and also just to make sure that implementation is done correctly every time. And from there, you would write a simple goal contract. So let's look at how exactly this. So on Blackboard, you're going to see a sample plan for goal setting worksheet. So we've got John here who apparently stops working when he's frustrated by an assignment. So the team brainstorms some solutions, briefing him ahead of time so he knows what to expect, assigning a partner to work with him, lead the whole class in a whole discussion of how to accomplish the tasks in small steps, so kind of breaking that down, maybe giving some hurdle help there. And then there was also the idea to perhaps create a different assignment. So you're laying out all the solutions there. Step 3 would be to evaluate those solutions. So can we agree to cross any off the list? Well, the team must have talked about it and agreed that John's capable of doing the assignments, so they're going to cross number 4 off. So then you want to look at the advantages and disadvantages of each remaining solution, okay? And then at the bottom, and I'm sorry this doesn't show up very well on your PowerPoint here, you would identify a solution that you're going to pick. So you pick one, and you're going to figure out how you're going to monitor progress. And just because you pick a solution from your list doesn't mean you have to, you're not signing your name in blood. If it's not working after a couple weeks, you can try one of those other solutions, okay? So you've picked a solution, and from there you would develop a. Okay, so the goal is John will complete math assignments or ask for help when he has difficulty. And so this outlines the student responsibilities for achieving the goal. And this can also be for both the student and the staff responsibilities. You can eliminate those letters and make them into a simple checklist. And those can be your fidelity checklists, especially for teacher or support staffs. So this would help to, if you chose to make that checklist, it would make sure that the implementation fidelity stays high and sustainable, okay? So then you're also going to talk about how and when to evaluate, progress monitor, going to establish a date to review this contract, and then you'll sign down at the bottom. And this just assures that if there's any discrepancies with the contract, you can adjust them before signing. And it also formalizes this contract, especially if the student is involved in creating this contract and in the meeting, that there's a high level of buy-in, and you'll have a lot more success that way. So if you go to this website, you'll see there's a great resource here, and problem solving, goal setting is problem solving, but it also leads to self-regulation, which we just talked about as well. So like always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me, post up your questions on Blackboard if you'd like to start a conversation about that, and have a great week.